Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan and I'm a Namibian YouTuber. So today, before we start with our topic, if you're new here, please just kindly go down below, subscribe to my channel, comment, like and share with your friends, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything that we'll be posting further. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about our topic for today, which is intercultural or interracial marriages. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about the challenges that we have gone through so far being in an interracial relationship. So most of these challenges that I'm going to talk about here are more from being from different cultures than being different races. So I feel like most of these are because of the way we were raised up, or because of the way we lived our lives for the certain life we have been on earth. So when you've lived your life doing things a certain way, it won't be easy to do them another way, or you'll find it really hard to do them a different way from the way that you've been doing them your whole life. So with that being said, I'll start with some of the challenges that were brought in our marriage, but they are from the outside world, because there are some challenges which are only brought onto people by other people, by the community, by the society. So these are the things like stereotypes. Especially in my culture, especially in my community, people have these stereotypes about white people, that number one, they have money, that they just have like they shit a lot of money and all that, you know. So I remember the time I went to the US, I heard a rumor, not a rumor, it's just that people were gossiping that, oh, just look at her, look at how she looks. She's even in America, but she just looks so dirty, she looks so yucky, you know. So people think the moment you go to America, the moment you are with a white man, you should have a shitload of money. From where? I don't know. So they expect you to drive a nice car. So now for us that we are living in our small one apartment, rented one apartment, they feel like, oh my God, they are so poor. How are they surviving? Blah blah blah. So they just feel like a white person should have money. And that brings them maybe to think that every lady who's with a white man just wants money for some reason, or I don't understand. So it makes them feel like you are in a relationship for money, or that you were expecting to have money. I feel like they project their expectations on you. So that's one of the, I mean, that's another challenge that we have experienced. So the other challenge is that you have people coming up to you. You have people coming up to you telling you like, what are you doing? You should buy a house. You should build a house. So when your husband is going to leave you, you'll be able to have a house. You'll be able to have properties. And then the person telling you also doesn't have a property, or if they have a property, I don't know about that, but they just, I don't know, they have this stereotype that some people were left by their husbands or by their white partners, so they feel the need to tell you what to do. Like, oh, build a house so that when he goes, you have a house of your own, he will leave you with a house. I feel like it's part of the materialistic part of our culture, but you know, I don't blame my culture either. They grew up with nothing, we grew up with nothing. So if somebody thinks that way, is probably for their own good or whatever. But I just feel like it becomes a challenge when they come up to your face and telling you that that's not who I am. So others are just like insults. Like we'll be working with Chris and then somebody will just come up like, oh, you hate your own black men, you hate your own black people, that's why you are with a white man. Or somebody will just be like, we'll be walking and somebody will be like, leave our women alone, like shouting at Chris to leave their women alone. So that's those are just some challenges, like insults from out of the blue. And then the stereotypes, like I said, they expect a white person to have money or to just be loaded, to have a nice house, to, you know. So the other thing about the stereotype maybe that I didn't talk about is that some people like think white people don't argue. I had somebody tell me like, oh, I want a white man because white people don't like arguing. You think they like arguing? Like, it's like, are they not human? Don't they have feelings? Like, so it's just some stereotypes, insults, and the stares, people looking at you so bad, like in a bad way, in America and in here. Okay, in America it's a little bit better because I feel like Americans are mostly, you know, they are mostly good at minding their own business. So here people will really stare, like they stare without even blinking, and you can tell, and you look at them and they are still staring, you know. So the stares are also part of the challenges. So let's talk about communication as a challenge in an intercultural or in an interracial relationship. Communication itself, like number one, you won't just understand what the other person is saying because they speak a different language which you didn't grow up speaking. So somebody might say something, I would say something in English and then he doesn't get it, and then I get frustrated, or he says something in English and I thought I understood it and I answer it a different way, or I take it as an offense, like I take it as a completely different thing. I get angry, but he didn't even mean it in the wrong way. It's just me not understanding English. I know you think, oh my goodness, now I know English, and that will never happen. There are just some words, there are just some phrases they use, there are just some phrases we use that are different from, you know, different cultures. So communication, like speaking different language, is just a challenge on its own. The other thing is sometimes I find myself speaking to the kids in Oshivambo, like I want to explain something or they did something wrong, and then I explain to them in Oshivambo, and then Chris doesn't understand it, so he won't know what I told them, and then the kids will end up doing something, or the kids will end up doing something which he said they shouldn't do, or he will end up telling the kids not to do something which I told them they can do it. So speaking a different language at home can also be frustrating, like, or it can frustrate your partner trying to speak to the kids in English or in Oshivambo just to make them understand and for them to learn Oshivambo too. And then he'll just feel like he'll just feel like I'm speaking something behind his back, or I'm telling the kids something which is, you know, like I understand totally, like when somebody speaks a language that you don't understand, you feel like they are talking about you for some reason. I know, we are all human. So if you don't feel that way, then good for you. But that one is another challenge, like speaking a different language to the kids and him not understanding it, and a miscommunication comes up from that. The other challenge is that in my culture, I feel like we were raised up to ignore conflicts. Like I remember with my family or with my sister, if we have a fight, the next time we meet, it's like nothing happened. It's like we didn't fight at all. Like life goes on as normal. And sometimes I want to challenge or to like apply that to my relationship. Like if something happens, I'm like, let's just not talk about it, because I feel like if we talk about it, we're just going to dig a deeper hole. That to some level helps, but I don't feel like it's a healthy way to deal with things. It works with my family where I am from, but I think it won't work with my family where the family I came up with, because for my culture, we were raised to not talk about things, or we don't really confront each other. We'll be walking past each other, and next time we just start talking without even solving the underlying problem. But for like Chris culture, they were raised to talk about things, sit down, talk about things. And I feel like it's good to erase some problems, underlying problems and all that. But like for us who are not raised that way, so when he wants to talk about something and I don't want to talk about it, it even just start becoming deep and deep and deep, and you know, it might become an argument on its own again also. So yeah, difference in being raised up, like they talk about things, we don't talk about things. Sometimes you want to talk about things right now and I'm not ready, and then that one will just clash. The other challenge is the roles, the gender roles in cultures. Like for us in Oshivambo, women do a lot. Women do a lot. And then now for me and my husband, we have kids. And when I want to leave the kids with him, I feel like I'm doing something wrong because I feel like it's my role to be with the kids. And the fact remains, and the fact is that he enjoys being with the kids. He enjoys taking care of the kids. He has, I mean, he likes being with the kids, but I take it bad and I'll even end up with something. But it's just me. I feel like I'm abandoning my role as a mom if I'm leaving the kids with the dad. I don't know why. It's something like with culture, like the women are just with the kids, they cook, they do what. So when the other challenge is food, like, you know, like as a Vambo, I enjoy my tripe, you know, the tripe and the intestines of goats and all that and all that. And in his culture, they hardly eat intestines or the insides of animals. For me, they smell so good. And I must say, I have a patient man because he can stay in the house while I'm cooking all my tripes and they smell and the flies come in and all that. It's not rotten tripe or intestines, just fresh, but the flies like goat meat for some reason. So the flies come in, they, you know, like the smell, and he's a good person. He stays around for that. So, but I just feel like, you know, I like the meat. I enjoy it so much, but we won't be able to enjoy it together because he doesn't like it. He's not used to it. It's not part of their culture. He doesn't eat that, or he doesn't really know how or why I enjoy it. Okay, maybe he does because he knows that that's what I grew up eating, but to him, it's not as delicious like it is to me. So that's one of the challenges that I also go through. So with that being said, I just want to say or to give you some of the points, or especially if you are in an intercultural relationship or in an interracial relationship or just any relationship. So there are things that you can follow to make your relationship work or help it a little at least. So you should know the culture, know your partner's culture and how they think or how they were raised up and how they talk. Not to end up like me, who gets angry just from small stuff. Like I remember when we first started going out with Chris, he would say like, you can get this if you want, and then I'll be like, if you want is an insult in my culture. Like, you know, Shivambo, you can't tell someone gewahala, gewahala. You can take this if you want. It's like when you take it, it will mean like it will just mean different. Like it will be a different meaning if you take something from somebody who said if you want. It's like you're begging for it, like, yes, I want, you know. So it's the pride that we have as a culture. So you have to identify what your culture or the other part, your partner's culture is like and how they talk, and then you challenge the false beliefs. Like if they know the false belief about your if they know some beliefs about your tribe or culture that are not good, then tell them which are not true, tell them what's true about that, or tell them the truth and challenge the lie, challenge that way you can now gather the positives and negatives. Like you check, in my culture's positive, what do we do that's good? Like we raise kids in church, we force kids to sleep in the same room, and that makes them stronger, like as a sibling bond. And then what's good in their culture, they sit down and talk about things, they sit down and challenge things. So what can you do together? Like bring the positive things together, and then they will help you raise your kids now, or they will help you in your relationship. So when you put your positives together and erase the negatives by talking about them, that will be good. So you should also be able to adjust to another person's culture. I know it's not easy, but like try to think of why they think this thing is should be done a certain way. And if you come up with that, or if you like establish that, then it's going to give you like an idea of why that person thinks something should be a certain way. And so after establishing all that, you should be able to compromise and communicate. Compromise being that you should be able to do things even if they're not even if they're uncomfortable to you. Do them because they make your partner happy, or because, like, even if you don't believe going to church, so if it's a big part of your partner's life, then just go to church even for one day and just communicate to that person that church is really not my thing, but I'll do it for you for one day. What about one day a year? So compromising is really important, and as well as communication. So yeah, it's overall it's a beautiful experience. Like, apart from that, the mistake you can make is just thinking that since all things were good when you were dating, they are going to remain that way. Your love would overcome everything. Nope, your love won't overcome everything. Loving each other is good. Commitment is good, because some people feel like, oh no, I've fallen in love and love is enough. No, you have to choose to be with that person, not just because you love them, but because you choose them even when you don't feel like you like them. Like, I don't feel like I like you right now, but I can't still think of tomorrow without you. Like, I'm not going anywhere, but we have to solve whatever the problem we have now. Well, there you have it for today. Those were my challenges, or our challenges that we've gone through as an interracial, intercultural relationship. So if you liked this session, please like, comment on what you want me to talk about again. Like, what do you want me to talk about? Do you have any question for me? Put it down in the comment below. Like, are you going through are you in an interracial or in an intercultural relationship? It can be a Kwambi and Kwanyama. It can be a Vambo and Herero. It can be an Namibian and a Botswana, or a Namibian and a Botswana, or a South African and a Namibian, or it can be an African and a European. It can be an African and American. So, are you in a relationship of such kind? So, what are your challenges, or what have been your challenges? Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. See you next time.